If I'm being honest with myself, I really can't complain anymore about Lego Castle. The fact that there's no, castle theme that's dedicated just for castle fans like me. But in the last couple of years, we've gotten some really great one-off sets from Lego, including the Lion Knight's Castle, which is arguably the greatest Lego castle ever released. And it's still available. I mean, I think it'll be available through the end of this year. So if you haven't gotten it, you should really check it out. And then, last season we had that 3-in-1 medieval castle, which was just spectacular. And now we're getting this one, set 31168, which is the medieval horse castle. And I am just so totally stoked by this. I've been thinking about it all week. I did a kind of a short video last week of the new sets that I want to buy. But what I would like to do over these next few videos, over the next few weeks, since I'm taking a hiatus in building because I'm going to be traveling, I would really like to look in depth at the 3 different builds for this castle and what we might expect from them, because I really think there's just enormous play value in this set, despite its niggling faults. I mean, you can find faults with any Lego set, and there are certainly some faults with this one, but I really think that it has a lot going for it. So this week I would like to start by looking at the build that's the jousting scene. It's very reminiscent to me, this jousting scene, of those vintage joust sets. The Kingdom's Joust set is one that you can still get, but it's really expensive. It's in like the $500 range. But it just has that feel of vintage Lego. First of all, if you look at if we're looking at the overview here, it's got those 2 great towers, and in between an observation platform where the royalty sits. And, the windows and the turrets of the tower are just, there's nothing complicated about them, and they're all brick built, but I think they're really, really clever. I love the design of the windows. I love the design of the awning. I love that it's just obviously brick built with the stud showing. It just excites me. It really feels vintage to me. I love the platform. I think it's very, very clever with the flags. It's very simple, flags and the crossed swords. And then there's the minifigs in this set and in this build, which I find absolutely delightful. The royalty is the horse faction. So up on the platform is the king with his long, kingly medieval hair. And what I'm almost certain is a queen up there, or a princess, but I think a queen. It's really hard to tell in the illustrations, but I believe that's a diadem on the figure's head. So there you are, and up top you have that wonderful observation deck. And if you start to go down and around the build, what you see is a kind of 2 different kind of building structures that are on either side of this set. Now, on the camera left side is kind of like, it looks like a little tent that is a place for, I guess, the royalty or the knights to get ready and relax and have a beverage and a snack. Looks like an apple in there. And again, it's brick built and very cleverly brick built. I mean, I just love the triangular posts. I love the table. I just love everything about it. The roof, I just think it's really, really, really clever. So as you make your way across the build, there's a kind of an archway in the center there underneath the observation platform. But on the other side is what looks to be like an armory. I can make out a bow and what looks like some weapons there for the joust. And then down in the center is a freestanding build. But in the center is some sort of jousting platform. Now, I don't know much about jousting. It's not something that I've studied, but it looks very much to me like it's something traditional you might find at a joust. It looks like some a wooden kind of platform, as well as some grass down below because it's green. And then you have the 2 factions who are jousting with those brick-built horses, and they're There's been a lot of talk about these horses, about how disappointed many of us are that they weren't molded horses. And I mean, that was my reaction as well. I was disappointed that this was not a molded horse and was brick built. But the more that I am looking at this, the more these brick builds are growing on me. And I can't wait to get into the detail of it, but it really looks like there is a lot of detail. It just has that vintage vibe to it and is really in the spirit of early Lego, which was almost entirely brick built and without any kind of fancy molded pieces. Now, there's the Snake Knight there, and his shield is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. And the fact that there's a cape, included, I just think is spectacular. I mean, this set has a lot going for it, as far as the number of minifigs in the set, as far as the fact that there's just so much going on with the different builds. So I think that I'm probably, of the three builds, I'm, at least right now, the second, I'm most excited about this jousting build. I mean, I don't have any vintage jousting sets. So the idea that I can get a joust build out of this is very exciting to me. And I think it's an extremely attractive jousting build. So there are three builds to this set because it's 3-in-1. And I'm almost certain now, looking closely at all three of these builds, that I'm going to have three of these sets. Now, whether I buy them day one, I'll probably buy one day one because I'm just so excited to get it. I'm not sure that I'll buy all three day one because I'm sure it probably will go on sale. The other 3-in-1 castle did go on sale. It was $99.99, and then towards, as it matured and towards the later part of its life, I was picking up sets on Amazon for $79. Anyway, that's a closer look at this jousting build. If you don't have a jousting, build for your fantasy castle or your castle kingdom, I think this set is almost an absolute must-buy for you for that build alone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. What do you think of this particular build? I mean, we won't know until we get our hands on it. But just in looking at these pictures from the box, I'm really excited about this build in particular. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on this particular jousting build in the set, and whether or not you have some of those vintage jousting sets that are just, they look spectacular. This set reminds me of those vintage sets. Thanks again. Happy building. We'll see you.